So G2 have been struggling. They went out early at Masters Toronto and then again at UWC, and now playing against 100 Thieves in the first week of Stage 2, they get destroyed. They were able to eke out a win on Sunset, but then lost on Haven. But they got absolutely annihilated on Breeze, and I think this map was a good indicator of some of the things that are wrong right now and like a lot of the mistakes they're making. So yeah, we're going to take a look at what I think is going on here with G2 and some of the things that they're doing wrong. First off, let's just start with the comps, right? Like, you got Jogamo on KO and Baby Bay on Neon. I'm not really sure what the cook is here. Like, you got Jogamo, one of the best Neon players of all time, and you're putting Baby Bay on Neon. Right? And, you know, when they picked up Baby Bay, it was clear that the Sentinel role, or the Lurk role, maybe the Viper, was probably going to be the best fit for them. And I'm just not sure where they're getting this idea that, you know, I don't know. I personally would never put one of the best Neon players and like a perma-duelist. Like, I know Jogs flex to like some Omen, right? Like, with Omen, you can kind of still be aggressive, kind of like in a duelist-esque style, but like, you know, KO is like a full support agent, right? So I definitely really question why they're putting Jogmo on KO and then forcing Baby Bay to play the primary duelist role. So right off the bat, I think that just doesn't make sense, but you know, we'll go through this VOD and I'll pick out some of the key rounds where I think G2 really showed some weaknesses and some of the areas that they're lacking in. And yeah, let's just get into the first round. We're gonna go over here. So they actually did win the pistol round. So they won the pistol round and then they win obviously anti-Q after that. So round 3 here on the defense side. And first things first, insta drone here from Trent. And there's just like a lot of things I don't like about that, right? Like G2, they already have 3 players stacked towards the B site. So that's kind of the site you want 100 Thieves to hit, right? If you're G2, right? Like, you got 3 players, you got Viper, you got Astra Stars. You want them to hit the B site, and you've got Sova and KO too. KO's got a nade, you got Viper Molly, you got like Sova Recon when they come in. You got like 3 massive tools that help if 100 Thieves hit the site. And on the A site, you've got Baby A with a Stinger holding A main and Valen just sitting here on Astra, right? So think about it. Like, if you're G2, you definitely want 100 Thieves to hit the B site. But when you do a drone like this, and like, you can go through it again, like, he literally insta drones off round rip. You barely get any info with this drone anyways, right? Like, you can see that it just gets insta broken. Like, what info did this drone give you? Like, there's people here and there's like no one immediately here, right? If someone's jiggling, you can probably get that info out anyways, right? Or like, you know, it just seems like kind of a waste. And we're going to talk about it later in the round when they're forced to play retake, and some subsequent rounds as well, when they're forced to play retakes and they're burning this drone instantly. It kind of costs them, I think, in a lot of these rounds. So we'll just keep playing it here. And so now 100 Thieves are going to start to work up elbow. Okay, and here's something that I think G2 are going to need to start adjusting, because I think a lot of teams have caught on to how G2 like to play. They like to play like a very team-oriented, almost like perfect style. And this is one of the drawbacks of that perfect style, is like, people get footage on you and people start to see how you're playing a lot of these situations the same way. You see Trent's holding a pixel angle. Like, I mean, at least I think if you're going to hold pixel angles like this and you know the enemy team knows that you like to hold these like kind of pixel angles and you like to jiggle, like at least maybe crouch and hold this, because Timotino here just peeks it really precisely and just takes down Trent for free. Like, there's, you know, peeker's advantage. There's nothing Trent can do about that there. He just gets taken out for free. And now you lose your Sova, right? And like, now you look at this mini map here, right? Like, do you think you're going to be able to hold either site? Like, B, maybe, if they go through main. Like, if they go through main, you're not holding anything here. And then A, you got your Astra and your Neon without much util, right? Other than this Viper wall, but right now they're not set up to play for the Viper wall. So you're probably going to end up playing retake, and your Sova's dead for free like that, right? And that's a big problem. Okay, so if we continue to play the round forward, obviously Baby Bay has a main. Vora is going to use a Silver Drone to clear him out. Now at this point, you got Jogna and Leaf, who are playing turtled up on B, which is understandable. I think that's a good play. But they don't see anyone coming from middle, right? So Valent should have an idea that it's not a B hit right now. So, you know, I'm not sure why he decides to kind of, like, you're playing Astra, and like, he's already committed, like, stars here, I believe, right? So I'm not sure why he just kind of solo faces it by himself and it just dies for free as well. So that's Trent dying for free, and then it's Valen dying for free. That's really poor from Valen, I think, to just be walking out of the open, like, at least, like, budget so that, like, I think he ran out of scripts, but, like, if you're gonna hold mid-doors like you're an Astro, like, you gotta have something, right? Like, you got no one else with you, like, you just holding your gun, like, even if he gets a kill, he's going to get instant traded, right? So I would have much preferred if he just like played back here at orange, let them cross pit and try and play for a kill. Because what he's got to do is try to make it a 4v4 situation in that sense. And he does the worst thing possible, which is just die for free. And now like, just talking about agent comfort, we get to this point where like Baby Bay is in A main. And then I've heard, I think it was Anders say this, is where like when people are kind of like not super comfortable on agent, they end up using the abilities on the agent to solve a problem that isn't there. And for here, Baby Bay, I feel like he's just solving a problem that isn't there, right? Like, I get he's, like, kind of being crunched on, but, like, he knows that 4 is here. There's still a smoke blocking him from A main, right? So he's not in any immediate threat of dying from these guys. And then for some reason, he just decides to make a bunch of audio and then, you know, like, use both his Neon Stun and as well, as you can see. And I think that just shows uncomfortability on the agent because he essentially just slides to his death.
Maybe they will wait on this. Here's a pitter-patter of many footsteps head over towards this A side, and he needs to fight his way out of this situation, but...
Like, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, maybe if you're a Neon player and know something I don't, but I'm not sure making a bunch of audio here, and not, like, I mean, you could have just walked up on this for it, like, as a 3v5. I think that would have been a better risk to take, is trying to walk up and kill Vora rather than making a bunch of audio. So these guys know exactly where you are. Vora also knows exactly where you are. So that allows Vora to play the situation very well. And these guys just know exactly where he is and crunch on him, right? Like, if these guys didn't know exactly where he is, then, you know, it would make it a lot easier for Baby Bay to maybe walk up and kill Vora. But, you know, he kind of just, like, he does the stun. He has to wait for the stun. And then, because, like, he took so long, now the smoke's fading and he decides to put up his wall again. And then gets flashed and just slides to death. And then from there on out, obviously, a pretty hard retake for Leaf and Giacomo. Alright, so on to the very next round, round 4, and so both teams are now on a bye round, so this is a crucial swing round. This is a round that both teams really want to win. So what 100 Thieves do here is they start with an A main default, and their goal with this A main default is to try and get Cryo pushed up into a better lurk spot, right? They're going to try and push him up into elbow, because if you, as like Cypher, can get into this elbow area, you hear the rotates on B. Like, I think the audio circle is something like this, right? So you can probably hear guys rotating off B and call your team back to B if you want. Or you're just in a more advanced position to hopefully find a backstab, right? So that's what 100 Thieves are going for here. Now, they do get KO knifed by Giacomo. G2 know that 100 Thieves have 3 name in. But again, that is kind of questionable util, I think, in my opinion. And that goes, again, perhaps Asian uncomfortability. Like Giacomo's on KO, something he literally never plays. And I think is you have 3 guys on the A site, right? Again, if you're G2, you got 3 guys on the A site, you want 100 Thieves to hit the A site, but then what you do is you KO knife so that they can't exec, and you actually, again, dissuade 100 Thieves from hitting A. And I think that's actually a bad thing here from G2, and I don't know if Giacomo realizes he's doing that, but he basically told 100 Thieves, yeah, we don't want you to hit A right now. And so that forces 100 Thieves to pause, they grab the orb, and they kind of reset for a bit. Cryo is now in his lurk position, and now 100 Thieves are basically just waiting out the smoke to re-hit. Okay, so now 100 Thieves are hitting. They've popped the Phoenix ult, and Cryo's still here. Now, there's a couple things that go wrong for here. First off, so Valen gets, like, you know, darted, and then I think it's just a communication thing. Like, you know, you got this Viper wall that I think that's what they intend to play off of, and it just takes too long to come up, right? Then Valen just dies for free. Like, you see, like, Leaf does put the Viper wall up. I assume it was just the communication was delayed, but, like, you know, as soon as that Phoenix ult hits and, like, you hear them A main, like, that should be the green light for one of them, at least, to tell Leaf, or, you know, if Leaf's got full sightline of B here, right? Like, he knows the Phoenix ult isn't B, he should be insta putting up that wall, if that's the plan for G2, to hold, because this is a good wall to hold the site, but, you know, it comes too late, and Valen just gets taken down. And then a couple trades do happen here, so it does even out a bit, but, importantly here, you know, Trent and Leaf, there seems to be some kind of disconnect here, right? Because you know the enemy team is going A, right? You've seen a bunch of players. And, you know, they probably know Cryo's been lurking around, right? So, Leaf, like, he kind of just dips spawn, like, right away, instead of grouping up with Leaf to help clear flank, right? Or clear mid. Because, like, for Leaf here, like, you put up this wall, that's all you can do. Like, you are not physically going to make it to the A site to help your teammates. So I don't know why Leaf and Trent aren't doubling up to clear mid in this instance, right? Because you see Leaf just like kind of goes through spawn, and now you're just leaving Trent. Like, if I would rather Trent just go through spawn and ignore the lurk, right? But instead, Trent tries to find a lurk, and, like, you know, if you're the lurker here, Cypher, you always have the advantage because like you're focused on like knowing where they're coming from. Like he knows if someone's coming, it's gonna be mid doors, right? Whereas if you're Trent, you're kind of angling out, and you kind of have to peek every single angle here because you don't know where this lurker is, right? Where the lurker, Cryo, knows exactly where you're gonna be, and so yeah, Cryo just easily takes down Trent, and now it's a 3v2 for 100 Thieves. Like I know, yeah, Baby Bay still technically has the back sight, but you know, he literally is in like he's getting pinched from both sides, right? And Leaf just is like he's not here in time, right? Like it would have been better if, you know, Leaf, he's not here in time, he goes, Trent gets to trade on Cryo, and then, you know, that hopefully makes the round still winnable, right? But now here Baby gets taken down, and now it's a 3v1 for 100 Thieves, and Leaf does actually end up making this close. But again, as you'll see, I think this comes down to just, you know, G2, some kind of mental block, but like, you know, Leaf's gotta hit the shot, right? Like Leaf reads where Cryo's gonna swing out from, and then just Cryo just sits him down. Okay, we're gonna quickly go to round 5, the very next round, because again, Trent just gets caught out jump spotting, right? And like this is something that teams are kind of keying in on what G2 or how G2 are playing, because Tino clearly, right away he expects a jump peek from Trent, right? And Trent just jump peeks into an outlaw, dies for free again, right? So that's another, like the second round in 5 rounds already, where Trent, their Sova player, has literally died for free, right? And now G2 are in a 5v4, so they're probably going to have to retake, and they don't have their strongest retake agent. So again, huge problem, Trent just dying for free early. I think they're going to need to make an adjustment with how they play these jiggles and jump peaks, because clearly teams have caught on. Like, Team Latino is buying an outlaw to punish that exact play. And so yeah, on to round 8. Both teams are on a bye round again, and this time G2 actually get the first pick. Baby Bay with the op, Is It will take an Arsenal, so that's huge. G2 have a 5v4. They should be able to convert this round, but then once again, it just goes wrong for G2. And we'll see what happens here as like Team Latino is working mid with the op, and then you can see on the minimap here, Bang just from like, what is it? Behind the smoke takes down Valen. Like that just, you know, you can't be dying there, right? Like I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a spam, you got spotted on the drone. But you know, like it seems like 100 Thieves have an idea that G2 are playing to like jiggle like close to these, like, you know, close to cover, right? And so Bang probably shoots there, like expecting maybe the drone saw him, expecting there, and you know, Valen, you just can't be dying there like that, right? So that's obviously not good. Valen dying for free, and then Leaf, you know, like I'm not sure why, like you have no info on B main. It's now a 4v4, right? Like I understand if it was down numbers and you're trying to look for a kill, but he ends up just dying for free to Cryo here. So like, you know, G2 get the first pick, and then just 2 individual, like these aren't big mistakes, but like, you know, a bunch of these small mistakes do add up. Leaf peeks, doesn't get the kill on Cryo. Now it's a 4v3, and at this point 100 Thieves can pretty much play this round out however they want. It's good from G2 to actually re-clear mid, and Timotino does kind of whiff here with the op. But you see as this round plays out, they do a fake wall on A to like try and fake that they're still going A. G2 don't buy it, and it's good that G2, like both teams are doing good. Like, you know, you're going together to make sure you at least get a trade. And so Jogma takes on 4, but Bang answers back. And now here from Trent, right? Like, there's a couple options he could do. He could fully go back into spawn, he could take A main, or he could turtle on site. All 3 are okay. He ends up deciding to like take A main, spots Bang, and so then he decides to go turtle on site instead. But I think he kind of just makes like, this is kind of just an individual error again. I'm pointing out a lot of individual errors, but I think that's kind of where I'm going with this video, is that G2 seem to have like, they kind of know how they want to play the map, but then it's just a bunch of individual errors, I think, that are just adding up. And you know, I think that can be attributed to just like uncomfortability on agents, right? You got Jogma playing with KO, Baby Bay playing the Neon, when, you know, it's just like, I mean, I know Baby Bay's played Neon before, but, you know, it just obviously doesn't look like he's super comfortable on the agent right now, in 2026 at least. And so yeah, Trent can hear the 2 players of 100 Thieves going on, and then I'm not sure why he decides to like kind of get it, but like he just peeks way too early, right? Like you hear the all the way back here, like, and you use 19 seconds, like I think at this point, the win condition is time, trying to force them to get the bomb down, and Trent can just like hear them, turtle around here, waste as much time as possible, and try and kill the planter. But instead, he gives away his position, doesn't get a kill, and then 100 Thieves recognize the situation here, and I do like how they play this. Like, they see, like, okay, Trent, we know exactly where he is. He's somewhere on this line, you know, and they basically just split up, go both ways, and get the kill onto Trent, and now it's a 2v1. Cryo pops Cypher ult, and it's just so hard at this point for Baby Bay, because now they know where he is. Cryo does kind of, you know, over peak here, I think, and dies to Baby Bay, but you gotta have guys that can win these clutches, and like it seems like G2, like it's kind of a mental block right now. Like they're just not winning at some of these crucial clutches that they need. I mean, it's well played from Bang, but again, like, I mean, I think this is kind of like, I mean, I'm gonna go it again. Uncomfortability on an agent, right? Like, you know, I find when I play games, right, like if I'm comfortably agent, my clutch rate just goes up because you know exactly how you want to play it. But, you know, Baby Bay kind of just like fiddles around here and then taps the bomb. Bang knows exactly where he is, takes him down 6-2 for 100 Thieves. Okay, round 10 now. 100 Thieves are up 7-2, and right off the bat, another thing I don't like, Trent is insta-droning B main again. And they're playing full Retake A, right? If you're gonna play Retake on a site in Valorant, like, you might want to have your strongest piece of Retake utility still available. And instead, Trent just burns the drone insta. And we'll see later on this round, this comes back to haunt G2 because they really struggle to get back in on the Retake. And so yeah, so 100 Thieves start off the round by, you know, it's 3 through mid, 2 A main, very typical A split. I mean, like, I kind of get what G2 want to do, like, they want to drone and fight, but, you know, like, that's taking a gamble, because if you use your drone and there's no one there, you've essentially lost your biggest piece of Retake utility, and you gain nothing from, right? Unless, like, you know, you, like, try and flank, but they don't even do that. They basically double back, because they now know that 100 Thieves are on A, and it's like, you know, there's not much difference from them having 3 playing back site and doing nothing than them trying to fight, and they ended up wasting the drone. And so, but they do end up, like, reclaiming together through mid, which is good. But obviously 100 Thieves with the Phoenix ult have stormed onto the A site. Valen and Leaf are playing full Retake. 3 G2 players are going to fight through mid. Baby Bay goes for a slide. Giacomo trades. That's all fine and dandy. Trent takes down Bang. And now, if you look at this minimap, it's still looking okay, right? 4v3 for G2 now. They should be able to get back through, but Timotino pushes Valen, kills him. And now, you know, like, you'll see what happens. Asuna takes down Giacomo. I mean, you know what piece of utility might be really helpful in this instance? Like, you're trying to get out of a choke, which is what you need to do in a Retake. Maybe having a drone would be helpful, but instead, Trent wasted the drone early for no reason, and then ends up having to throw a recon after Giacomo's, and which lands, like, after Giacomo has died. And so, like, you can see what they end up trying to do. Like, they knife mid doors, which is okay. You flash out, but, like, I mean, a flash, you know, Asuna, he's playing Phoenix, like, he knows flashes are in the game. He's going to kind of play anti-flash here, like, here's the flat pop, peeks, this recon does absolutely nothing, and takes down Giacomo. And at the same time, Leaf does push up, and he does find Vora, but then for some reason, like, he completely forgets that Timotino pushed up here, and so Timotino kills Leaf right back. And then, I think just, I mean, a panic ult here from Trent. Like, you're never killing anyone with an ult there. Like, you know, Asuna's got tons of, like, space to move. And so, yeah, 100 Thieves are able to clean up this 2v1.
To try and smooth things out, to be the antidote to chaos. But in a 1v2 with players diametrically opposite him, there's nothing to be done. Slide through.
And so, yeah, like, I mean, if you're playing, like, double initiator, like, you should not have problems, like, getting back through chokes on retakes. I think just poor util there from Trent, and Giacomo, obviously, not the best initiator player, and just G2 just aren't able to get back in on the retake. Okay, and so the very next round, G2 decide to completely switch it up, and they try to actually fight into A main, but I think this A fight, I mean, saying it was a poor A fight would be an understatement, because, you know, they try to fight off a timing, but you'll see that the only piece of util they use is one KO flash, and it doesn't even flash cryo. Giacomo basically flashes. I mean, you know, good from Cryo to be playing that angle so you can get the kill. But then after that, like, I mean, Baby Bay, you have a stun, and you know where he is. You know it's probably just Cypher, and he decides to just dry slide through a Cypher cage. Right? Like, I mean, I could say it again, like, uncomfortability on an agent, like, I don't see, like, why we're doing that, right? Like, you have a stun, like, you have Astra as well, right? You have Astra stars to maybe throw onto where Cryo is, like, you know where he's standing if you're going to slide through. And then Valen, even worse, like, Valen then also just dry swings through a Cypher cage for no reason. Like, at that point, like, you know, you gotta cut your losses, and G2 just individually, again, just making these errors, right? Like, you know, if you're gonna play very, like, a perfect, like, kind of, like, really team-oriented style, individually, you still gotta be making the right decisions, and right now, G2 just are not making those decisions. Okay, so on to the second half. G2 are now on the attack. They did, once again, manage to win the pistol round, which is great, but now you're down 10-3, right? So the second round, like, what is this buy, right? Like, you're on Breeze, and you have a Spectre, a Stinger, and a Spectre, and 2 pistols, right? Like, there's more rounds to play than just a second round. Like, this will definitely help you win this round against, like, pistols, right? But if you're gonna want to come back from this, like, you gotta buy rifles in the second round. I'm completely confused as to why G2 has not bought any rifles and are going with this buy. Like, obviously they do win the round, but I think this is a crucial error of just not buying properly, because you're just not setting yourself up for the rounds after that, right? Like, these guns, like the Spectre, Stinger, and a Spectre, like, in the next round, which you also have to win. Like, if you want any chance of coming back, you also have to win the bonus round, and this is just not a good buy for that. Okay, so now on to the very next round, the bonus round for G2, and you can see, like, you know, Trent buys up a rifle, Leaf buys a rifle, and the rest actually do. Like, Jogmo has money to buy a rifle, Valen, oh, he doesn't quite, but Baby Bay has enough to buy a rifle. Like, if you want to come back, you gotta win this round. Like, 100 Thieves are on 10 rounds. Like, if you let them have this round and get up to 11, like, that makes it infinitely harder to come back. But for some reason, G2 just don't buy up and give 100 Thieves the full gun advantage in this round. It's just, like, it's a nice shot from Timotina, but Trent has to stop dying first, like, for free. Like, that's just another free death. Like, I mean, it's kind of hindsight to say he should have used drone or jiggle better, but, like, you know, I mean, it's a fine jiggle, but, you know, if teams are keying on to, like, how you like to take space or, like, how you like to play these situations, you're gonna have to make an adjustment, because Timotina just sits down Trent and asks Sova down again early. You're not gonna have that util for exec, and you're not gonna have that info, and it just makes the round so much harder to play. Okay, so then G2 are able to take the B site, and then, you know, like, in this situation, right, Leaf, I think he just goes way too early on this lurk, right? Like, you know, you have the bomb down, G2 have control, like, they know 100 Thieves aren't, like, taking the site yet. Like, I don't know what the rush is here from Leaf to start working out, right? Like, you know, you should know that there might still be a player on A, right? And Asuna just takes him down. Like, I think, like, he wanted to hold this line, and, like, get up here, but, like, you can hold this line from back here, right? Like, maybe here, and not expose yourself to the mid-doors player, right? And then if they cross here and you don't get the kill, and obviously you can go back main, or you can start working up here. Leaf just dies way too early, and then after that, there doesn't seem to be much of a plan here from Giacomo and Valen to try and win this round. Giacomo ends up just peeking individually. Same thing for Valen, and that's all she wrote on this round. Okay, one more round we're going to look at, round 16. 100 Thieves are now up 11-4, and in this situation, once again, Leaf, I think, is just making another individual error here of going way too early. Like, I'm not sure if this is communicated that Valen's going to tap the spike. He doesn't plant the spike, so, you know, G2 don't have a post plant yet. And then Leaf decides to just start walking up. He's just going up way too early before they even plant the spike. Like, there's literally zero reason for him to start walking up here, right? Like, I can't think of a reason. Like, you know, 100 Thieves haven't planted, or sorry, G2 haven't planted the bomb yet, and 100 Thieves are obviously going to be aware of a lurker. And so Leaf, once again, dies for free. No value in the lurk. And now, individually, for G2, I think they're just still lacking some of that firepower. And you can see Valen here, like, I don't know if it's just me, but, like, you kinda have to win this fight.
Relinquish a lot of space on A, forced back to an extent from Baby Bay going down that 1-for-1 moment.
Holding double door for G2 is so important in this round. They've lost in the Timo, and look how it has slowed them down. They've come to a screeching halt. They're trying to smoke that cross, and Timo does not care.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with G2, but I think the main problems are individually, they're just like not on form. They're not making the right decisions when they need to. And I think also just the choices of the compositions they're playing are just strange, right? Like on Breeze, they've got Jugmo and KO, Baby Bay on Neon. Like I feel like, you know, you could put Baby Bay on the Viper, put Leaf on some other agent, and Jugmo and Neon if you want to play Neon. Otherwise, like, you know, I feel like they're kind of just forcing the KO because they think the KO is good, but like I don't think that's what you should ever be doing, right? Like if you're trying to force a comp that you think is good, but the players on your team aren't good at it, it doesn't ever go well, right? I think they'd be better off playing maybe not the best meta comp they think, but one where their players are comfortable on those agents. Because I think, as you saw in this video, like player uncomfortability on agents kind of just has a cascading effect where every decision you make kind of, you know, it all adds up, right? Like one bad decision here, one bad decision here, it all adds up, and then, you know, something like this happens, right? 13-4. Then also, yeah, Trent, especially on this map, like, you know, 0-3 first kills, first deaths. Like, that's 3 first deaths, 3 rounds where he just died for free. And then after that, the team loses their retake, exit QTEL, and it just becomes really hard to win the round when your Sova's dying, like, right off the bat, like, early in the round, too, right? Like, you know, most of those deaths were, like, before the minute mark. And so, yeah, and then you can see, like, they were able to eke out a win on Sunset, but then Haven again, right? Like, you know, Leaf on the Cypher, I don't understand why we're doing that. And again, you're not putting your best Neon player on Neon, which I think, like, if you're going to play Neon in a comp, you might want to have the best player on your team at Neon playing Neon because she's such an important agent, right? Like, she's the space creator. If you're not great on Neon, it's going to kind of handicap your team a lot. And I think Baby Bay is just a much better Sentinel player than Duelist player at this stage of his career, right? So perplexing comp decisions, I think. Just individual, you know, not on form, not making the right decisions. And teams kind of keying in on how G2 like to play. They like to play a lot of jiggles, play for info instead of taking those big risks. And I think, like, as you can see, Trent got caught out a lot of times for free, basically, because teams knew that he was going to jiggle or hold a pixel angle. So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one.